I'm tired of.
Oh, thanks, Jolene. Go ahead and get the recording
Yeah, I
started.
know.
Oh, we're gonna have to mute everyone.
Please, thank you.
Sorry, we're on mute.
They just turned it on.
Not before I say I'm back. Woo!
The tenant for the garage, okay? So I told you.
Vinny Koo, that's enough out of you.
Too well as you. Hi, but
Oh, Jolene, are you on top of this muting fiasco?
Yeah, there's just some folks that keep coming off mute. We'll take care of it.
Brian Davis, knock it off. I got you. It's 2026. That's crazy. Literally, somebody handed me a sports card. You probably can't see this. This was made in 1998. And for some reason, to me, this doesn't feel like that long ago. But it is. And that blows me away. I don't know if any of you else can relate to that. But man, time is flying. We made it to a brand new year. Excited to be here. Jolene, do you have any announcements?
I don't think so. There might be some others who do.
Great. Who's doing the after call? Do you know?
Yes. Today it's Tamara Lamore.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Tamara. Olivia, please.
I know.
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. I wanted to quickly just share with all of you, as most of you know, Stu and I rolled out our operations key performance indicator tool, our KPI tool. That's the operations business planning back in November. And ever since then, I've been running these KPI setup and strategy open forums that are going to continue for the next couple of weeks. These are just really small groups. People can come on if they want to, and we talk through how to set up the KPI tool very, very specifically to different teams' business plans of the people that actually come on and join that call. And so if your ops leader has not yet brought you their draft KPI for 2026, please encourage them to attend one of these sessions in the next couple of weeks so that we can provide that leverage to you in this area. They can find those on the Ops Google Calendar or on the Ops Calendar in our place. I'd love to be able to help support you in getting your ops to have a KPI that matches your team's business plan. You can also just email us. I'll put our team's email into the chat as well. So if there's anything that you need regarding your ops KPI or anything else we can do for your team's operations, we are here to support you. I hope you have an awesome week.
You're so good, Olivia. Thank you.
Thank you.
Josiah, you got anything for me?
Not today.
That's uneventful, Josiah.
Lots of fun stuff coming down the pipeline, but no this week launches.
Okay. Go into chat for me. Go into chat. When you think about having a good year, what percentage growth do you consider being good? Just go to chat. Man, one, that looks like my weight. Two, what a bunch of variability in the answer. And I think that the answer probably impacts a little bit of your results. And I don't know what the right answer is. I think partially it depends on your size and scale. It's probably harder to double a $10 million business than it is a 1 million, but it's all the same variables that apply. But I'll tell you what I've always planned for is, what would it take for me to double my business? How do I get 100% growth? What would the math be to make that happen? and I just break it down to actually see what makes that possible. And once I do that, once I see that it is possible, it generally happens. It doesn't happen every single year in that formal 12 months that we're talking about, but always tends to happen. I call that the doubling mindset, because I've never imagined myself being able to 10x or 20x or 100x my life, because it's just too far for me to visualize and believe in. But I have always believed that I could double where I was at. I could double my savings. I could double my net worth. I could double my business revenue. I could double the amount of properties that I own. Just double. And I just want you all to think a little bit about, in 2026, what area of your life would you like to double? Some of you, the answer honestly should be the amount of days you take off. Some of you, unfortunately, should be the amount of days you actually work. Doesn't matter. I just want you to think about it for yourself. What would that be? And today we're going to talk about starting 2026 and staying in 2026 in a very strong way. And if you're on the call right now, you should be able to see a big screen that says start and stay strong. Is that true? Give me some thumbs up if you can see that. All right. No, I don't feel like an idiot. Perfect. Here's what I know. History isn't shaped in easy years. It's shaped in the hard ones. And we unfortunately have had some easy years and some hard. But this gap of hard years in the industry is about the longest gap of no growth in the real estate market that I can find in, I don't know, 20 or 30 years of looking at the charts. The lowest amount of real estate transactions since the 90s for 3+ years straight. That's interesting to me. The worst affordability for 3 years straight. That's been hard. And a lot of you have grown mentally, physically, financially through the hard years. One of our place events early on, some of you will remember this, I invited the Survivor Man guy to come and speak. And at that event, I said to everybody, sometimes success is just survival. And I'm just really proud of all of you that survived the personal challenges and financial challenges and business fiascos and the sicknesses and the cancers and the deaths and just the hard things. It's hard, but that's also what shapes us and makes each one of you really incredible partners. If you want to think of a group of humans that endured hard, you would think of Mr. Ernest Shackleton. Number one, he wore suspenders. And any person that wears suspenders, you know that they understand hard. By the way, I'll share one of my photos of it when I was a kid. I have this perfect school picture of me wearing suspenders that'll get you thinking about this guy right here. I was pretty nerdy back then. But go into chat for me. Who's Ernest? What did he do? Liz, he wore suspenders. Some people say North Pole, some people say South Pole. Which one was it, everybody? Was it North or was it South? Anybody?
South.
South.
Jelena, you handle in chat for or The waiting room, please. Ernest said, the quality I look for most in a human is optimism. I think that's an interesting, and it's an interesting word. I like optimism in the people that I'm around, not blind optimism, because those people just get themselves in trouble. I like the confident optimism. The people say, hey, it's not going to go exactly how I planned, but I'm going to figure it out. And eventually I'm going to make it work. He said, optimism is true moral courage. Danny, well said. He says Danny says blind optimism is just rhetoric. Optimism is true moral courage. See, Ernest, his boat got stuck in the ice, and him and his crew had to survive for almost 2 years. As the ship was frozen in the ice for that 2-year period, they had no food supply. They had no plans, people trying to rescue them. There was absolutely no certainty for their survival. Zero. It's hard to stay optimistic when you really have no thoughts in your mind that you could survive this. But like I said, his crew never lost a single member. Every single person survived. And when he was asked about it, here's what he said. We suffer together. We work together. We win together. Isn't that something? That bond that is created, Trey, when we navigate hard times together, it's really hard to break. It's why good leaders show up for their people during their hardest times in ways that their people could never imagine, because that bond is truly unbreakable. Any of you ever went through something really hard in your life and I showed up for you, or somebody else for place? Like really hard, like tears, or like anybody? Michael, I remember yours. What was it, 2 a.m.? I was sitting outside of a hospital. I don't know. I didn't sleep that night. Brian, man, you were a trooper. I remember that journey. Yeah. Well, it creates a bond. And you notice that a good leader first listens, shows empathy, doesn't provide false optimism, but says, here's what I think the first step for us to do to get back on track could be. Step by step. That's also what makes us really good at handling chaos or emergencies or natural disasters. When you're logical, what's the first thing? You can endure a lot of stuff. 2026 is not going to be 2021. The economy is just not going to be that hot. And it's not going to reward certain behaviors. It's not going to reward the loudest people. It's not going to reward the busiest people. It's not going to reward the most emotional. During COVID, when everybody thought the world was ending, and I don't want to take away from anybody whose lives was lost due to that horrible pandemic, but I went to this group. Those of you that were with me then, you guys probably remember me saying a couple things, but one of the things I said to the group was, this is not a snow day. Snow days are like, ooh, we get a day off, we get to stay home, we're going to watch some movies, and we're going to make snow angels. I said, this is not a snow day. This is a season. And seasons last, sometimes for months, sometimes for years. These are seasons of our lives. This is not a snow day. And because of that advice, a lot of you ended up having some of the best years of your life, because we treated it like a season, not a snow day. This is not a snow day. It's a season. The other thing I said, I don't know if anybody remembers this. I said, you have to understand sometimes the loud, write this down, the loud are not the majority. Sometimes they're just the loud. We get caught up sometimes seeing what everybody on the interwebs or the social media is saying that they're doing, or anything that the media or the news sites or whatever are saying that's going on. And we get caught up and we start kind of believing some of the bullshit and start going in the direction of the rest of the sheep of the world. And we just have to remind ourselves sometimes that they're just loud. And that's not the year for that. 2026, this really incredible year that we have in front of us, very possibly could be the best year of your life in so many areas that you've never even considered. 2026 is going to reward us who implement systems. They're going to reward those of us that work from a clear sense of priority. Success happens when priorities get done in the right order. Just be very clear about that. Not that everything isn't important, but it's important that you do it in the right order. It's just like a recipe of baking bread or making soup or whatever, or cooking a nice dinner. All the steps are important, but the whole thing can turn into a gigantic pot of shit soup really quick if you do things in the wrong order, if you don't have a clear sense of priority. 2026 is going to reward those of us that create some good habits and that commit to using time a little bit more wisely. That those of us that say, you know what, I'm tired of carrying this workload out all myself, all the time. It's exhausting. Any of you ever relate to that? You feel like no matter what the burden, it's always on you, in your family, or in your business, or in your finances, in your life. It's just like always on you. I photographed a deer the other day around the 29th, I think, of December, but I unfortunately photographed him about 5 miles in deep. So I had to carry him out. I got a really good picture of him, if you know what I mean. And it was like 80 to 100 pounds, and it was dark and there was no trail. And I just remember like taking these steps and I was starting to get cramps in my legs while walking straight up. I'm like, oh, this is a problem. But I knew if I like laid down or sat down, I was not going to get back up again. So I just had to go out. It would have been so much easier with a couple of you helping me with that. We're gonna succeed even when the conditions are uncertain. One thing I know about our industry is that it is a market of rich agent, poor agent. Even in the worst times, certain agents produce at high levels. Why is that? Well, they change something in their world to make that happen. They focus on the right things. They focus on succeeding through people. They focus on a different source of business. They change their scripts and dialogues. They just get better and they evolve. You know, I don't want to, Jelaine, you got that? I don't want to not understand the economic reality that we're in. But this year isn't going to be about trying harder. It's not going to be about working more hours or working harder. It's literally, you could probably work less this year and make a lot more money if you just focused on operating your life and your business and your calendar and your agents and your staff better. One of our highest producing profitability and unit place operators called me a couple days ago, and she said, I think I'm going to let go of some staff and make some staffing changes. I just think that we can operate the business better, and I think they've gotten complacent, and I have a plan. And it was a pretty well thought out plan, and I appreciated that. She knew that for her to hit her goals, she had to start operating the business better. Discipline is greater than intensity. Write that down. Discipline is more important than intensity. I tried to get all my workouts in one day last year, December 29th, when I photographed my deer. That intensity wasn't as important as the discipline of doing little pieces of that often. Some of us try to get all of our production done and all of our recruiting done and all of our financial things and all of our blah, blah, blah done in a day or a week or a month. No, actually discipline is way more important. But these economies that we're dealing with, they are real. And we have to adapt to the economy of the moment, which is a little bit micro-marketed, because I understand it's not the entire United States. So you got to understand your metrics and what's going on in your world. But there are real things we need to deal with. Interest rates. I think they're going to drop faster than Goldman Sachs and faster than other people think. I think we'll sit in the mid fives this year, and mid fives is a good interest rate. We can run a good life and a good business, and affordability will be reasonable at 5.5%. But now is the time that you need to start getting serious about getting your Envoy branch up and going and recruiting your loan officer and driving more business to your loan officer and talking to your clients about when it's right to refinance. Would they appreciate if you gave them a call to check in about it so you could save them a bunch of money? Like, those are the type of conversations we should be training our agents on and talking about at Power Up, and just getting prepared to take advantage of these big opportunities. One of you as place operators got a check last month for, I think, $55,000 for 1 month's operating of your mortgage branch. I don't know. That's not an insignificant amount of money, $55,000. That's interesting to me. We need to understand that home sale numbers are a challenge. And if the market recovers too quickly, we're going to end up with too many multiple offers, too low of inventory, and not enough homes for sellers to buy if they sold. So I'd rather see a gradual improvement to the market than going right back to a 2021 fiasco for home sales. I want you to be focused on days on market, what's actually happening in each one of your areas. Luckily, we built a software, in collaboration with Sean and Mike and John, and called Area Pro, that you all get access to for free. That you can ask it any of this stuff. You can ask it, hey, what's going on in this zip code or this county or this city? What are the average days on market, etc. But you should know that, because these numbers don't dictate your success. They dictate your strategy. Cancelled expires were probably higher than normal. It's worthwhile that you start going through all the ones from January 1, which is usually the highest day of the year for total number of expires. Start gathering inventory and getting listings on the market. The person with the most listings, as the market heats up, will win. So listings are truly important. Train your agents to ask people, do they have a home to sell? Start coming up with listing challenges. Place will release a new challenge here shortly. We'll get you updates probably next week on the last productivity challenge that ended December 31st. I'm sure Marley's already working on those numbers. The best businesses that I've studied in the world didn't sit around and hope that the market gets better. They got better inside the market that they were in. I think that's a interesting concept for all of you to be like, all right, can't change the market. What can I change? What are these things in my world that I can modify or improve? Napoleon says victory, or said, RIP, victory belongs to the most persevering. I think I agree with that. I've known a lot of people that were overnight successes. It just took them 10 years to get to that night. $10 years to get to that night. Gubernick teaches us about things like flywheels. And flywheels are connected. And if you continue to operate around this flywheel and improve each area in the right order, step by step, your business can truly explode. So if you typed in 100% early in the call when we were talking about where do you see your business going, you should have a 100% plan, which will be elements of this flywheel. If you typed in 20% or 25% or 30% or 40%, you should type that in. Place hit just about $600 million in revenue in 2025, up from $440 million in revenue. Our goal for 2026 is to hit 40% increase. Should put us around 800 million. That is our goal. We know we need to be north of $1 billion to IPO. That's the target. Probably 2 years out from breaking $1 billion. If we can keep doing what we're doing, and all of us keep operating on the correct pieces of the flywheel. Write this down for me. Just kind of, you could draw a circle and you could just go to the 1 o'clock point on the clock, so to speak. What's the first flywheel? If you're in personal production, how can you do more with less time? How can you do less so you can spend your time on other areas? It is a piece of the flywheel. What's your personal production plan for the year? Chris and I kind of have this personal goal to make sure that we're always involved in, 1 to 2 transactions a month ourselves. You should think about that in the same way. Every single one of you. Step 2 of the flywheel. Write this down. This should be closer to the 3 o'clock spot of the flywheel. Per agent productivity. When the challenge with the business plans that we put together was if you kept your same shitty per agent productivity, you'd have to add 12 idiots to hit your goal. So if you want to be surrounded by idiots, that works. Or you could say, you know what? I want less idiots in my life. So I'm going to put pressure on per agent productivity because I'm motivated. Go into chat if you agree with me. I am motivated by being around winners. Losers, losers suck the energy out from me. You know those little bastards that borrow money from you and then they leave in the middle of the night? Those little jerks that are having a hard time, but they're always in the office after you and they always leave before you do. Kiss my buttocks. Trying to do better about swearing, Chris. FYI, I don't know if I told you this, but I did see this nice meme the other day. What did it say? Nikki immediately responded with a very strong swear word when I shared it the other day. Here's what the science says. Cursing is rarely a symbol of low class. Thank goodness. It's often a mark of high authenticity. Nailed it. Evidence. Swearing predicts higher rates of honesty, and integrity, of course. It signals willingness to prize candor, no shit, over courtesy. A little profanity shows you're being real and that you do give a damn. I apologize to my former preachers in the room. I think I saw Hatch there earlier. He'll swear every once in a while when I tickle him. A little bit of swearing, not bad. But what could we do to effing fix our per agent productivity? When I think about that, one, have standards, expectations, and boundaries. If I bring you into my world, I expect, require, and demand that you show up in the office in person to lead generate and be a good team member. Not every Thursday, not every other Tuesday, but as a partner, like it was a full-time job, because it is. I expect that you will do blank, 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 blank. You will participate in the next place productivity contest. It is hard. It's not meant to be easy. They give out participation trophies at the other team in town. We don't. We celebrate winners. Per agent productivity is about as dumb simple as you can get. It's say the right things, say it enough times, and have enough people to say it to. Scripts, activity, and leads. That's it. That's the math. If your agents are not producing at a high level, if this piece of your flywheel is broken, it's one of those 3 things. Get them to fix those 3, or we replace them. Because at the 5 on your clock, you're going to write down agent recruiting. That's part of your flywheel, agent recruiting. Warren Buffett said sometimes your time would be better spent finding a new boat than continuing to bail out the one you're in. My grandpa said that you can only put so much perfume on a turd. At some point, they're still turds, and you can't fix it. You can't fix it. So let's find some people that are driven to show up, that give you energy. that get you motivated to show up, that make you feel bad if you aren't showing up as your best person. Like I say, you're one or two good hires away from any life that you want. But they're not going to show up. They're not going to just knock on your door. You got to be purposeful about reaching out to people and taking these agents to breakfast and building rapport and teaching in your market and just building up your funnel of people that you could be in business with either now or in the future. I asked this question a lot to this group, but let's do it one more time just for the exercise. How many years did you know me before you either took a job at Place or you partnered with Place? Please go into chat. What's your observation from that? Type that into chat. What does that tell you? Somebody typed in back when you were tall and tan and skinny. Well, that was a ways ago. Jay says it's a slow roast. It's not a microwave dinner. Oh, that's so good. Christine, I remember that. I still have a picture from that. I think Dave Jenks was there at that. Recruiting as part of your flywheel, it's not a job. It's not something you outsource. It's a commitment. I enjoy being in business with good and amazing humans, and I'm going to make that a priority this year because crappy people make my life smell bad. So if you said, hey, this is the area of my flywheel that I want to fix, you would then start developing strategies and commitments and so on. And your drunk monkey is first going to say, I don't have time for it. But it's 20 minutes a day. It's 30 minutes a day. It's the highest amount of money you will ever make per hour is recruiting somebody talented into your world. Agent retention. Somebody said to me once, how hard would it be to run a restaurant where every day, every single customer had to be brand new? Unless you were on a ferry or in an airport, that would be a very challenging restaurant to own. That's why I love getting into business with people that have a strong drive towards referral and repeat sphere business. The myth is probably that I don't value that. I actually value it above all other types of business. It's just most of our agents don't have enough sphere and past clients. So they got to get those people by doing the open houses, the cold calls, the internet leads, the door knocks, the networking, the stuff. Agent retention. Everything that Place is designing for us as partners is around retention. Our stock program, retention. Our productivity contest, retention. Our health insurance, retention. Our Friday calls, retention. Our masterminds for agents that Brian hosts every week, retention. Retention, retention, retention. It's all about retention. You have to do your part and stay in relationship with these people so they know simply that you care. That you care. The Channers messaged me this weekend, and one of their phenomenal agents is celebrating today their 10-year anniversary with the team. How cool is that? To have an amazing human that's been in your business for 10 years. It says a lot about you. Okay, The next piece of the flywheel, let's put this at around 7. Expense management. You can't wait too long to figure out that all your money is gone. Most businesses, most ships, like the Shackletons, ships were not sunk with a single big iceberg that sunk like the Titanic. They sink with small, consistent holes that happen over time. That's what happens to your finances. That's what happens to your personal spending. That's what happens to your investment strategy. Little tiny holes eat away your wealth in your business. Let's go to number 9. Were we already on 9? Go to 10. On your clock, write another one. Improve models and systems. It's a job. It's a commitment. And a great leader would simply say, which model or systems in my business do I want to improve for the month of January? Not all of them. You can't do that, but you can fix 1 or 2. Your director of ops can fix 1 or 2. And then the next month, you pick a different one. By the time you're done at the end of the year, your business looks entirely different, and you need to go fix them again. It's constant improvement. Let's go to the 11 o'clock. Add ancillary revenue. You will create enormous amounts of wealth with Place over time by fully buying in to mortgage and title and insurance and home warranty and home repairs and all the other things that we are killing ourselves working on in the background, a few of which we get to announce here in a couple of weeks. I think Place has 5 to 7 acquisitions going on at this exact second. Somebody described Place the other day like Place is like a freaking tornado that is absorbing everybody in the market. Yeah. I want anything that provides you value so that I can give all of that to my business partners for free. And then I want to add all this other stuff that we've never had access to. That's what we're working on. And then back at the 12 o'clock spot, we're repeating the flywheel. You just go through it. That's why it's a flywheel. It keeps moving. Let's do it quickly. Personal production. Am I selling enough personally? Or am I selling too much and it's holding back my growth? Number 2, per agent productivity. Am I surrounded by a bunch of losers? What can I do to increase per agent productivity just a little bit? You could add the revenue like in your mind. Think about this. If your average commission was $12,000, that means the team would keep half of that. That'd be $6,000. If you got each agent to do an extra 1 deal for just 1 deal for the entire year, and you did not increase your expenses, how much more profit would that give to you? Do the math. Take your average commission times half times 1 extra deal per agent. If you had 10 agents, that'd be $60,000 of profit. Jay, if you could get your agents to do 3 deals extra a year, 3 deals. We're not talking about rocket science here. It would be an extra 700 and
almost $750,000.
That's a lot, Jay. That's a lot, Jay.
Yeah.
But we feel like these things are like so big that we can't move the rock. No, it's you have some rocks that are just on your team. They're immovable. They're always going to sell 12. They're always going to sell 3. They're always going to sell 30. They're just not movable, which is why we get back to let me get into business with refreshing, new, good, amazing people. Let me make sure that my good ones aren't leaving. Let me manage my expenses with my DOO and the finance team every month. Where am I overspending? How do I compare to other place teams? What could I do to mitigate some of that? What model or system do I need to improve in my business this month? What do I want my VA to work on this month? What do I want my director of ops to work on this month? How do I add or increase the overall contributions from mortgage or title or insurance or these other ventures this year? Huge, huge. Then we repeat the flywheel. See, Henry Ford, the creator of the best truck in the world, just let that sit, everybody, for a second. He didn't invent the car. He invented the system that scaled the car. Which one are you going to be? The first person that made a car is not famous or rich. The person that improved the car is the one that got rich and famous. Like Robin Leach. You got to be this years old to know who Robin Leach is. If you know who Robin Leach is, go into chat. All right. I'm not the only this year's old person. Lifestyles of the rich and famous. Little did he know he'd be trumped by MTV Cribs a couple years later. That show was way better. So there's these different levers in our business that we've talked about. But what would happen if you just took a couple of months and said, you know what? I'm going to pull on this lever for a while and see how it changes my world. And you can choose which one, but you should choose one. Don't try to do all of them. It sets us up for disappointment and exhaustion. Just choose one lever that we could pull and improve. What if your agent count moved, right, on a piece of paper from where you are now, write your number where you're at, and then pick a new number? Gina, how would that change your world and change your life if it moved from X to Y?
That's my biggest struggle this year is I need to increase my agent count while keeping my expenses the same so my profitability increases. And my goal for profitability this year is 55%.
That'd be huge. All you would have to do probably is have breakfast with one good agent every week.
I hear you.
Literally, everybody. Literally. You want to improve your profit by 55% like Gina does? Just have breakfast with one good agent every single week. I know some of you don't believe me. That's why I keep telling everybody I'm actually an investor in IHOP, the Tutti Frutti, Fresh and Fruity. That's why I'm actually pushing this thing. It's all selfish. Just literally have breakfast with an agent once a week. That's it. And then invite them to a Friday call. That's it. Okay. What would happen if your personal production moved from 16 deals to 24? Or from 30 to 20? It can go either way, so long if it's moving from 30 to 20, you're replacing it with things that would improve your world, like maybe recruiting more people. What would happen if your per agent productivity moved from 2 a month close per agent, or 1 a month close per agent, or 3 a month close per agent to blah, blah, blah? Don't expect that, a 10 or 20% increase in per agent productivity is good. It's shit. Your agents are lazy. They're working part-time. I want to move them from 1 deal to 2 deals, from 2 deals to 4 deals if they're hungry. If they're not, I'm going to find somebody hungry. What would happen if you got your expenses from X% to Y%? I had somebody resign the other day And my executive said, well, what are you going to do? I said, nothing. Well, what do you mean, nothing? Well, I figured if I didn't do anything in a couple months, I would see if they ever did something. And then I would hire for that. I'll go fix for the things that get exposed instead of just replacing to replace. I don't know if that role is necessary. Maybe not now, could be in the future, but not now. So ask yourself the question, which one of those are you going to focus to improve? Per agent productivity, personal production, agent count, expense management. Like, what's going to be your first quarter focus? Type that into chat. Small discipline gains repeated monthly outperform heroic efforts. Look at that, everyone. Small discipline gains repeated monthly outperform giant heroic efforts. I appreciate that you can hire 5 or 10 agents in a month. I would rather you hire 1 or 2 agents that are awesome every month. This is what I call compounding leadership. Compounding leadership says that small things are going to make the biggest difference in my world. So I'm going to focus on doing them often. Compounding leadership, which is that operator flywheel, perfect example. The Roman armies, if you study the Roman Empire, which all guys do, we've heard, the Roman armies, they didn't win because of motivation. They won because they studied formations. They studied drills, they studied structure, and they commanded with clarity. If you do this, you will be successful. If you show up this way, you will win. Your agents want clarity. They want structure. They want success. Order creates confidence. Confidence fuels action. Action produces results. Take a picture of this. Order creates confidence. Confidence fuels action. Action produces results. Order. Let's do a productivity contest. AI call coaching creates confidence. Make a certain number of calls creates confidence. That confidence starts creating more action. That more action starts creating results. It's this simple. It's this simple. What we're really doing, Giancarlo, is we're building cathedrals. The challenge is when the previous medieval cathedrals were built, they took over 100 years. Do you know what the average lifestyle, how long people lived was back during these times? Yeah, Tyler, probably 30 years, 40 years. The workers who worked on these cathedrals knew that they would never see the finished result. Yet they carved each stone with passion and with excellence in mind, because they believed what we build today outlives us. Carl, Dan, Charlotte, Heather, Liz, Mark, Wes, Nancy, Amanda. What you're building today, what you're a part of, is going to outlive us. And the lives that we change, it's making a difference. It's going to matter. This year should be filled with a bunch of decisions that you make today. We will not do this anymore, and we will start doing that. And we will do it consistently, and we will do it all year, and we will reap the benefits. And at some point, someone, maybe not us, will get to sit back and enjoy the view of the cathedral. Right, Harrison? Right, Spencer? Let's build something special in 26 together, everyone. And it's going to start by you making a commitment to what part of the flywheel do you need to change by showing up, coming to our operator masterminds we're hosting every month, participating in the productivity challenges, being on the Monday calls, being on the Friday calls. Just be all in. Be all in, and it'll pay dividends because the market's going to get better and you're starting to ride the wave. You're right on top of the wave and we're just starting to catch it, and it's going to get exciting. I'm pretty excited. Anyway, Happy New Year, truly, from all of us here at Place to You. Arrivederci. Ciao. Bye. Go away. Go do something productive. Jump on the next call. Hang out with Tamara. She's a genius. Appreciate you.
Can we?
Ciao.
Thanks, Ben. Great.
Bye, Ben. Love you. Bye.
That's okay.